He's just a guy. Yeah, he's only one guy. But you're tuned on your radio to JazzmanJosh's one-man theater show. He's just a guy. Yeah, he's just a guy. But you're tuned on your radio to JazzmanJosh's one-man theater show. I'm just a guy. I said I'm only one guy. Oh, but you're tuned on your radio to my one-man theater show. Yeah. All right. Good evening, folks. I'm your host, JazzmanJosh, with the season premiere of the JazzmanJosh one-man theater show. You are listening to WCVF 88.9, the campus and community voice of Fredonia. And without further ado, we're going to get right on into the show. I'm going to be presenting tonight for you Shakespeare's classic Romeo and Juliet. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured, piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage, or 45 minutes, because I got booth plays. Which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Enter Samson and Gregory, with swords and bucklers, of the house of Capulet. Gregory, on my word, we'll not carry coals. No, for then we should be colliers. I mean, and we be in collar, we'll draw. Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of collar. I strike quickly, being moved. But thou art not quickly moved to strike. The dog of the house of Montague moves me. To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away. A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's. That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall. 'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall. The quarrel is between our masters and us their men. 'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads. The heads of the maids? Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maidenheads. Take it in what sense thou wilt. Thou must take it in sense that I feel it. Me they shall feel while I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh. 'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. Here comes of the house of Montagues. Enter Abram with another servingman. My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee. How? Turn thy back and run? Fear me not. No, Mary, I fear thee. Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin. I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list. Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb at them, which is disgrace to them if they bear it. He bites his thumb. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Aside to Gregory. Is law of our side if I say I? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir? Quarrel, sir? No, sir. But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you. No better. Well, sir. Enter Benvolio. Say, better, here comes one of my master's kinsmen. Yes, better, sir. You lie. Draw if you be men, Gregory. Remember thy washing blow. They fight. Part, fools! Drawing his sword, Benvolio wields. Put up your swords! You know not what you do. Enter Tybalt, drawing his sword. What? Art thou drawn amongst these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. What? Drawn in talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell. All Montagues in thee. Have at thee, coward! They fight. Enter 3 or 4 citizens with clubs or partisans. Clubs! Bills! Partisans! Strike! Beat them down! Down with the Capulets! Down with the Montagues! Enter old Capulet in his gown and his wife. What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho! A crutch! A crutch! Why call you for a sword? Enter old Montague and his wife. My sword, I say! Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me. Thou villain Capulet, hold me not, let me go. Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe. Enter Prince Escalus with his train. Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel, would they not hear? What ho? You men, you beast, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments to wield old partisans in hands as old. Cankered with peace, depart your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon, to know our farther pleasure in this case, to hold free town our common judgment place. Once more on pain of death, all men depart. All but Montague, Lady Montague, and Benvolio exit. Montague to Benvolio. Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Where were you by when it began? Benvolio. Here comes the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them, and the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and caught the winds, who, nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part. Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am that he was not at this fray. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore, that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole him into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, which then sought where most might not be found, being one too many by my weary self, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me. Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? I neither know it, nor can learn of him. Have you importuned him by any means? Both by myself and many other friends. But he, his own affection's counselor, is to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding in discovery, as is the bud bit with the unenvious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the same. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly cure as know. Enter Romeo. See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance, or be much denied. I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madame, let's away. Montague and Lady Montague exit. Good morning, cousin. Hang on. Romeo needs like a really protagonist, like hero voice. Aha! No. What are we gonna do for Romeo? Is the day so young? Yeah, I guess so, but he's miserable right now, so that's not gonna work. But news struck 9. Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast? It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? Not having that which having makes them short. In love? Out. Of love? Out of her favor where I am in love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I've heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first create, O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou laugh? No, cause I rather weep. Good heart, at what? At thy good heart's oppression. Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall, and a preserving sweet? Farewell, my coz. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where. Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love? What, shall I groan and tell thee? Groan? Why no, but sadly tell me who. A sick man in sadness makes his will, a word ill urged to do one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. I am so near when I supposed you loved. A right good markman, and she's fair I love. A right good mark, fair coz, as soon as hit. Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed. From love's weak childish bow she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the enter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Fredonia. And this is WCVF, the campus and community voice of Fredonia.
Cassie, when you call my name, does it mean the same thing that it used to mean? When we walked out on the black sand beach, I was tired, you were perfect as the earth under our feet. The way changed.
You're listening to WCVF 88.9 FM, the voice of Fredonia.
All right, folks, and we are back. Now, where were we? Ah, that's right. Let me just get this music going. Great. All right, good markman, and she's fair I love. All right, fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed. From love's weak childish bow she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store. Then she hath sworn that she will live still chaste? She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty, starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, that live to tell it now. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. 'Tis the way, to call hers exquisite, in question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is struck in, blind cannot forget, the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note, where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. They exit. Enter Capulet, County Paris, and a serving man. But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace. Of honourable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit? But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride. Younger than she, our happy mother's maid, and too soon marred are those so early made. Earth has hallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agreed, within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold on old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night, earth-threading stars that make dark heaven light, such comfort as do lusty young men feel, when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads even such delight. Among fresh fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house, hear all, hear see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which, on more view of many, mine, being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come go with me. To serving man, giving him a list. Go, sirrah, trudge about, through fair Verona, find those persons out, whose names are written here, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay. Capulet and Paris exit. Serving man. Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must do the learned in good time. Enter Benvolio and Romeo. To Romeo. Tut, man! One fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy, and be helped by the backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's language. Take thou some new infection of thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die. Your plaint and leaf is excellent for that. For what, I pray thee? For your broken shin. Why, Romeo, art thou mad? Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and good fellow. God, get in. I pray, sir, can you read? Aye, mine own fortune in thy misery. Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see? Aye, if I know the letters in the language. You say honestly. Rest you merry. Stay, fellow, I can read. He reads the letter. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselmi and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline and Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come? Up. Whither? To supper? To our house. Whose house? My master's. Indeed, I should have asked you that before. Now, I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry. He exits. Benvolio to Volio. At this same ancient feast of Capulets, sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with untainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such a falsehood, then turn tears to fire, and these who often drown could never die. Transparent heretics be burnt for liars, one fairer than my love. The all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighted your lady's love against some other maid. That I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant know well that now sues best. Oh, go along. Here we go. I'll go along. I accidentally turned the page. There we go. I'll go along, no such sight to be sown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own. They exit.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me. Now, by my maidenheaded 12-year-old, I bade her come. What, lamb? What, ladybird? God forbid. Where's this girl? What, Juliet?
Enter Juliet.
How now? Who calls? Your mother.
Madam, I'm here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I've remembered me. Thou hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age. Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour. She's not 14. I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen 15 be it spoken, I put 4. She's not 14. How long is it to Lamastide? A fortnight and odd days. Even or odd of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God, but she was too good for me. But, as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she marry. I remember her well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it, of all the days of the year upon that day. For I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain, but, as I said, when it did taste of wormwood on the nipple of my dug, and it felt bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. Shake, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years, for then she could stand high alone. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before, she broke her brow, and then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yes, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt not thou, Jewel? And by my holly, the pretty wretch left crying, and said, I, to see now how it just shall come about, I warned, and I should live 1,000 years. I shall never forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he? And, pretty fool, I stinted and said I. Enough of this. I pray thee, hold thy peace. Yes, madam, yet I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave crying and say I. And yet I warned it had upon its brow a bump as big as a yon cockerel stone. A perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou comest to age, wilt not thou, Jewel? It stinted and said I. And stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I. Peace, I've done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
All right, it is time for another buffet. Hey, thanks for tuning in. You are listening to 88.9 WCVF, the campus and community voice of Fredonia. Keep listening for more of your favorite music, shows, and news. Catch you on the waves.
A place that's got it all. News, weather, sports, and weekly student-produced segments. High Noon Friday is the place for you to stay up to date with current events happening near you. Listen now on 88.9 WCVF, the voice of Fredonia, 89.5 WDVL, the Inferno, at FredoniaRadio.com, and now on their Radio Line app. We'll see you right here for High Noon Friday, every Friday at noon.
All right, and we are back. Now, when we last left off, it was in the ladies' chambers with Lady Capulet, the nurse, and Juliet. Back to there. The nurse was leaving.
Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that I e'er nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish. Mary? That Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married? It is an honor that I dream not of. An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hast such wisdom from thy type. Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies esteem, are already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years, that you are now a maid. Thus, then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love. A man, young lady, such a man is all the world. Why, he's a man of wax. Verona's summer hath not such a flower. Nay, he's a flower, in faith, a very flower. Let's see, can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another leaves content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only wants a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride. For fair without the fair within the hide, that book in many eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share in all that he doth possesses, by having him making yourself no less. No less? Nay, bigger. Women grow by men. Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris' love? I'll look to like, if looking like it move, but no more deep like and dark mine eye, than your consent give strength to make it fly.
Enter servingman.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up, you called. My young lady asked for, nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait, I beseech you. Follow straight. We follow thee.
Servingman exits.
Juliet, the county stays. Go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
They exit. Enter Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio, with 5 or 6 other maskers, torchbearers, and a boy with a drum.
What shall this speech bespoke for our excuse? Or shall we on without apology? The date of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, scaring the ladies like a crow-keeper. Norna, without book prologue, faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone. Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. Not I. Believe me, you are dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move. You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above the common bound. I am too unpierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull wool. Under love's heavy burden do I sink. And to sink in it should you burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing. Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn. If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in. A A visor for visor, what care I? What curious eye doth coat deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me. Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs. A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverbed with a grand shire phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done. Tun's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire, or save your reverenced love, wherein thou sickest. Up to the ears, come, we burn daylight, ho! Hey, that's not so. I mean, sir, in delay, we waste our lights in vain. Life's by day, take our meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times that ere once in our 5 wits. How we mean to be going into this masque, but 'tis no wit to go? Why, may one ask? I dreamt a dream tonight. And so did I. Well, what was yours? That dreamers often lie. In bed asleep while they do dream things true. Oh, but I see Queen Mab has been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone, on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little hatomi, over men's noses as they lie asleep, her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the small spider web, her colors of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of crocus bone, the lash of film, her wagon a small, gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner, squirrel, or old grub. Time out mind the fairies' couch makers, and in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. On courtiers' knees that dream on courtesies straight, or a lawyer's fingers whose straight dream on fees, or a lady's lips who straight on kisses dream. Which off the angry Mab with blister plagues, because their breaths with sweetness tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit, and sometimes comes with a thigh pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep, and he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting 4 throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of helps 5 fathoms deep, and then Anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and, being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and he sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plates the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf flocks. This is one long monologue, oh my gosh. In foul promiscuous airs, which once entailed such in misfortune boats. How fast can I read this? This is the hag when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she. Finally, Romeo gets a word. Peace, Mercutio, please. Thou talkest of nothing. True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconsistent than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angers puffs away from thence, turning his side to the dew-dropping south. This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, we shall come too late. I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequences, yet hanging in the stars, shall bitterly begin his fearful datum with his night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen! Strike, drum! They march about the stage, and then withdraw to the side. Serving men come forth with napkins. Actually, this is a good time to do the next booth play. Yep, that's right. Another one of these, as is required of us. This is a good one. I like this one a lot. Here we go.
think of the night that it rained on the hill. I knew my car wasn't safe, sitting still. Sweat on the trash cans away. The rising tide drive up against or just stay. So I drive out to see these things happen. Yeah, if I find you, me in my wheels could not grip what was real. Right near the edge of the cliff, time was still. My universe made a spin. Didn't it felt so nice to exist after it. Hard to see these things happen. Yeah, they find you.
And this is WCVF, the campus and community voice of Fredonia.
I've just been informed that my microphone is not on. Sorry for that dead air. Join the Office of Alumni Affairs on October 15th, 2022. That's tomorrow. At 3 p.m. in Thompson Hall, W101, as Joey Molland of Apple Records' Badfinger performs at SUNY Fredonia. One of the first artists taken under the Beatles' wing, Badfinger had their initial hit with the Paul McCartney-penned Come and Get It. With McCartney's kickstart, the blossoming band thrived in an early 70s hit run, followed with No Matter What, Day After Day, and Baby Blue. The group had a resurgence in popularity in 2013 after Baby Blue was featured in the Breaking Bad series finale. Outside of these massive commercial successes, Molland also contributed guitar work to George Harrison's biggest hit, My Sweet Lord, and was a session player for John Lennon's classic album Imagine. Molland's next stop, SUNY Fredonia. Enkindled by over 50 years of industry credibility, it will be an experience of a lifetime witnessing Molland's excellent musical ability. This event is being put on by the Alumni Affairs Office in conjunction with Hail Fredonia Records Promotion. All right, folks, let's get back into it. When we just left off was the scene change from well, they go into a party. So here we go. Let's get right into it. Serving men come forth with napkins. Where's Potpan that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher? When good manners shall lie, all in one or two men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing. Away with the joint stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou, save me piece of marchpane, and as thou loves me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone, and Nell, Anthony, and Potpan. Aye, boy, ready. You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber. We cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, boys, be brisk in a while, and the longer liver take all. They move aside. Enter Capulet and his household, all the guests and gentlewomen to Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio, and the other maskers. Capulet. Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. Ah, my mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Am I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor, and I could tell a whispery tale in the fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. Music plays, and they dance. Aha! Give room, and foot it, girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up. And quench the fire, the room is grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long is now last yourself and I were in a mask? Capulet's cousin. Fire lady, 30 years! What, man? 'Tis not so much, 'tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptial of Lucentio. Come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years, and then we masked. 'Tis more, his son is older, sir. His son is 30. What, will you tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago. Romeo to a serving man. What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? I know not, sir. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. She doth teach the torches to burn bright. Oh, it seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, forest too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady or her fellow shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and, touching hers, make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear it, sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night. Tybalt enters, and things get heated. This, by his voice, should be a Montague? Fetch me my rapier, boy. Page exits. What dares this lave? Come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin. Why, how now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so? Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe! A villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night. Young Romeo, is it? 'Tis he, that villain Romeo. Content thee, gentle cause, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, for which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns, and ill-beseeming semblance for a feast. It fits with such a villain as a guest. I'll not endure him. He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You'll set cock a hoop. You'll be the man. Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to. Your saucy boy is so indeed. This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. You are Princox. Go, be quiet, or more light. For shame, I'll make you quiet. What clearly, my heart? Patience! Perforce with willful clore meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now, seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall. He exits. Romeo, taking Juliet's hand. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender's kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this? For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm the palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
I move not while my prayer's effect I take. He kisses her. Thus from my lips, by thine my sin is purged.
And have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged. Give me thy sin again. He kisses her.
You kiss by the book.
Nurse.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
Juliet moves toward her mother. What is her mother?
Mary, bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Nurse moves away. Romeo, aside.
Is she Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Benvolio.
Away, begone. The sport is at best.
Aye, so I fear. The more is my unrest. Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Is it and so? Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on then.
Covering Dunkirk, Fredonia, and all of northern Chautauqua County, this is...
Ah, sirrah, by my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest. All but Juliet and the nurse begin to exit. And with that exit, it seems it is time for my exit. Thank you very much for tuning in to the JazzmanJosh One-Man Theater Show. It has been my great pleasure to present to you at least a part of Romeo and Juliet, and you can count on hearing more from where we left off next week. Have yourselves a wonderful night.